So, first of all, you recently directed a play, Parva, by Sri S.L. Bhairappa, and that was a long process. It was a long journey from what we talked about earlier. Could you share your entire journey, the history behind it, to our viewers?
I am not from the world of literature. Most of my encounters with literature have been because of fun reading from my school and college days, because I was in a group that would read books. So just to be part of the group, I was influenced and I would be reading books. And later, my mother, when I was doing engineering, my mother actually decided to do her MA in journalism, although she had a government job with ESI Corporation. So she would be really tired after working all day and then doing rehearsals or shows, because she was also an amateur theater actress. And she would come home and ask me to read the books because she would be too tired. So I would read all this usual English literature, things like Shelley, Keats, Yeats, and stuff like that. Otherwise, I've read pulp fiction, and I've read a lot of some serious stuff too, but because it touches my interest, supposing I'm doing a play, or if I'm interested, if I'm to write an article on something, then I would do research, and that would interest me, and I would read. But I've not systematically read books, so I wouldn't call myself an academic or an intellectual, because in India, only if you have read literature, also recommended literature, you will be considered an intellectual. So I accept that definition. I'm not an intellectual. And I certainly haven't read much of Kannada literature. I've read some. I've not read much. But I had read, S.L. Bhairappa's Parva. Incidentally, I had read it in English first. And I had read about 5 other books of his, also completely by accident, not to, because there would be some argument, and then, I would, just to find out what he had written pertaining to that argument, I would pick up a book and read. But Parva I had read, and about 8 or 10 years ago, maybe 8 years ago, I called him once and I said, I want to do this play. This is a play. And he said, how will you do it? And I told him that that I'll work out some structure for it, but because I've done adapted literary works before. And he said, in Kannada, he said, please don't try and make a Karna some Naxal leader, or Kunti some Naxalite mother, and stuff like that, he said. I started laughing. But actually, I felt a little bit intimidated because it was see, the other books have a single running narrative, and they lend themselves to easier stage adaptation when you want to do a regular play which runs 2 or 3 hours. But Parva is it's very dense, with not only with meaning and argument, really, and a lot of drama and conflict within the characters. But it is also sequential in many ways, because he goes through the minds of different key characters that appear in the Mahabharata. And so I thought, it'll be really difficult. I felt it was episodic in nature. So I had abandoned it. Also, those were the days when I had the first beginnings of doubt about my journey in my political imagination, because I was very deeply influenced by leftists in not only in Kannada theater, but also leftist writers from around the world. A lot of my friends in my college days were lefties, people I admired a lot, people I continue to admire a lot. And which had precluded some reading. So I had not read many things that I probably should have read by then. And I was also very westernized. I could kind of was not very much, although I came from a very Kannada family, I wasn't very steeped in not exactly steeped in Kannada culture. So I had neglected to read many of these works. But I had done a lot of theater, and that's how I encountered anything in Kannada culture, because of theater and because of my family's social circle. So when I picked up this book to do again, two things coincided, because I realized that S.L. Bhairappa was a writer who had grown not only during the years of neglect of writers like him by the official established intellectual set in India when it came to writing or really or anything else too, for that matter. But you know, the thing is, he was not in the forefront of the intellectual imagination. I recently read a preface to another book on S.L. Bhairappa. I won't mention the name of the book or the person who wrote it because I don't want to get into any trouble with these people. But you know, it was full of condescension. Like this person knew what was properly intellectual and what was not, and he tried to hint that, you know, there's a difference between documentary writing and there's a different, you know, if you talk like that in the world of film, that a documentary filmmaker is less than a feature filmmaker, people will laugh you out of the hall. But you know, literary people are really like, they're like in science, what we call the Flat Earth Society. Carl Sagan speaks about, he says that there's a society called Flat Earth Society who meet to prove that the earth continues to be flat. So many Indian intellectuals tend to be like that. Maybe around the world they are like that because they don't want to change their mind in spite of overwhelming evidence. By the way, just to take that diversion, which is one of the reasons why you will see that the new liberalism, you know, is so buddy-buddy, the club members with, along with, left liberals around the world. They don't mind taking money from the people they had abused, maybe just a generation before also, because they think they're all part of the same revolution, whatever that is. So these were some of the things that went through my mind when I was given an opportunity again, because I had done two adaptations of novels, one by Rabindranath Tagore, Gora in 2011 or 12 I had done for Rangayana, Mysore, a government-funded repertory. Then later I was called again by the repertory and I did a very difficult, what was considered a very difficult work in Kannada by another very neglected, extremely talented writer called Yashwant Chittal, a great Kannada writer who is not actually as celebrated as he should have been. I have a feeling that you wouldn't have heard of him, for instance. Won't fully be your fault. It's just that he was not as valorized as he should have been, you know, when he was alive. 4 years after he died, you know, actually in the previous, just past decade, I did his play. I think it was in 2016 or 2015. I did a play called Shikari, very deeply influenced by great psychologists of the past and Kafka. It was in my opinion, a very successful adaptation. So was Gora in many ways, although it was early days for me to try these adaptations. And I had done another adaptation previously for Ninasam, another repertory, which I had done Anant Murthy's novel as an adaptation. That was in 2003. Anant Murthy himself had liked it a lot, but the folk at Ninasam looked down upon it a little. But anyway, Anant Murthy had liked it a lot. So when I considered this book, one of the things that ran through my mind was that that Bhairappa had been neglected by this establishment. He was not favored. He was not given fancy positions by the union government. He was not made director or chairman of film chamber or the film society. Not what we call it. It's not film. It's a society that runs the Pune Film Institute. He was not given any membership there. He was not made director or chairman. I don't think he had any great central positions. And he was considered a right-wing writer. And I also had considered him a right-wing writer till I read his life story, Bitti. And I was really taken aback at the kind of life experience that he was able to recall and put down in that story about himself that he wrote. And I thought, not only was Bhairappa neglected by the establishment here in the Kannada literary world, but also by the establishment in the union government in those times. And the amazing thing was that he had thrived. Let me give you an example. When he publishes a new novel, by the end of the year, the novel will be seeing a third or fourth imprint. He's that popular.
Right.
When I was shooting in Bombay last month, and I told them that they asked me what I had been busy with, and I said I had adapted Bhairappa's Parva. A lot of Maharashtrians were there, people connected with Maharashtra theater and literature and music and so on. Every one of them was familiar with the work. And I was told just recently, I did a film in Delhi. I shot with a very, very good actor called Jitendra Joshi. Jitendra Joshi knew Bhairappa's Parva. Madhur Bhandarkar and his team knew Bhairappa's Parva. They say, and I found out that he's among the bestsellers in translation in Marathi. He's also the top 10. His translated works feature in the top 10 in all Hindi literature, He's a big writer, and he became very big without any support from the establishment. He's not been a recipient of the Gnanpith Award. And I once did an interview of Gnanpith winners, and I defended that, Bhairappa at that time, half-baked, and as I had not read all of his. I said, these writers who I admired a lot deserved, not that Bhairappa didn't deserve it, but, they deserved it ahead of him. I'm not so sure anymore. But the thing is, all this ran through my mind because it was going to be a challenge, not just in adaptation, but it was a challenge to my long-held political beliefs. And Parva was a startling book, I must say, even when I read it the first time. And then I read it in Kannada, and my wife will tell you like how I would read it and read out a chapter to her after I adapted it into dialogue and drama. And I would have tears in my eyes, and many times I would have her weeping, just listening to the scene. So I decided to adapt, Bhairappa's novel. It was also possible, I must say, because of the director of Rangayana at that time, the director meaning the artistic director, not the play director, called Adanda Karyappa. Adanda Karyappa would not have been appointed as director of Rangayana had the government not changed. There was, remember, a BJP government before, but even then, it was those positions were always held as what we call the ecosystem. The ecosystem managed these positions, and they were held by people who are either straightforward leftist, or they were at least like moderate socialist position they had to take. So, and Adanda Karyappa is nothing from it. He's a committed, self-attested, right-wing, in terms of political right-wing person. And a person like that would not have been appointed had 2014 not happened in India, and had Yediyurappa government not come back again. It wouldn't have happened. So he was appointed, and if Adanda Karyappa had not been there, there is no question that I could have done an adaptation of a Bhairappa novel for Rangayana, because it was Karyappa who said that, Rangayana has been in existence for nearly 35, 36 years, but they have never taken up a Bhairappa work. In fact, during rehearsals of Parva, one day Bhairappa attended rehearsals, and he spoke after rehearsals. I mean, he spoke with with the searing intelligence and penetration of the idea of theater. He really knew about it a lot, and he said, you people, I live in Mysore, but I have never come to Rangayana ever before, because this is a leftist organization, I've always believed, he said. Sadly, the point is that he had never been invited there as well. So this is the background. All this happened when I took it up. And what we did with it finally was that Adanda Karyappa and I first, and then I with the entire Rangayana team of actors and technical people, we decided to do it as a 8.5 hour adaptation with 4 intervals. And the opening shows, we've done 6 full shows of it now. And the 6 shows have all been to full houses. So yeah, we did that thing. It was a very successful production, and we probably would have toured all of Karnataka and if not India by now with it. But unfortunately, the last show we did was on March 28th, when the second wave was already beginning to rise really fast, and it had crossed, I think, the 1 lakh cases per day mark by then. And lockdowns were there, and we felt it was not responsible to do any more shows then. But actually the full shows we did were without restriction, like we did it in a 1,000-seater hall first, 3 full shows, and maybe 2,800 people saw it in the first 3 days. So it was, we had no restrictions then in mid-March. And then when we repeated 3 shows in end March, some little restrictions had come, not too many. Maybe we were 60% full, but in a smaller hall. But it was very well received. And we'll probably pick it up again. I'll need to stop at this stage talking about Parva, unless you ask me some questions. If I had trouble with it, if I had problems, I'll talk about it. Otherwise, I think that's enough for it, of it for now.
Please remember to subscribe to us and switch on the notifications for this channel. For our other social media links, more content, and to support our work, please visit citti.net. Dhanyavad. Namaskar.